President Trump has returned to Florida after his historic arraignment on criminal charges.
Trump left the courthouse in Manhattan today after pleading not guilty to 34 felony counts. District Attorney Alvin Bragg spoke afterwards, saying it was all part of an illegal plot to help Trump's chances in the 2016 presidential election. Trump's lawyer, meanwhile, insisting this is a political persecution.
And a big crowd gathered outside the courthouse in Manhattan as Trump appeared for his arraignment. Supporters and opponents of the former president were there to make their voices heard.
Reporter Michael George is live outside the courthouse in New York City with a closer look at the indictment in this historic case. Michael?
Well, Liz, Donald Trump not referred to as the former president in court. He was simply referred to as the defendant. And this afternoon, we finally learned the specific crimes alleged in the case that will be known as the People versus Donald Trump. A somber-looking former President Donald Trump entered court to face criminal charges in connection with hush money payments made to an adult film star in 2016. Trump pleaded not guilty to 34 felony counts related to falsifying business records pertaining to that payment.
He's frustrated, he's upset, but I'll tell you what, he's motivated.
During the court hearing, the judge told Trump to refrain from social media posts that could foment unrest after messages critical of the prosecutor. Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg, who's overseeing the case, spoke to the media afterwards.
The defendant repeatedly made false statements on New York business records. These are felony crimes in New York State, no matter who you are.
Across from the courthouse, police have tried to separate pro and anti-Trump protesters. Now, these planned protests don't have a permit, which means that police can declare an unlawful assembly if things get out of hand. Georgia Congresswoman and Trump ally Marjorie Taylor Greene called the proceedings an injustice.
Donald J. Trump is innocent. This is election interference.
And anti-Trump demonstrators say justice has been a long time coming.
It's really satisfying as a New Yorker to see him finally see the inside of a courtroom and face a judge like every other criminal.
Trump's lawyers say they'll fight the prosecution in court. Once back in Florida, the former president plans to hold a rally with invited guests tonight at his Mar-a-Lago estate. Now, Trump has called this a political prosecution, but it's important to note this: the decision as to whether or not there was enough evidence for criminal charges was made not by a DA or a judge, but by ordinary citizens on the grand jury. Live in Manhattan, Michael George. Back to you.
And Michael, as New York City recovers from this historic day, the judge already set another date for another Trump court appearance.
Yeah, we don't expect Trump back in court until December, so this is a very slow-moving process. But I can tell you that according to what we've learned, this is something that the Trump team is going to fight. There's going to be appeals. There's going to be attempts to get this case thrown out. So there's going to be a lot of court dates and court filings in the coming weeks.
Yeah, no question. And potentially more charges in different states. All right, Michael George, thanks so much.
Okay, let's get a live look now at the former president and is about to speak from his Mar-a-Lago estate in about 15 minutes. A large crowd gathered in a ballroom right now with the look and feel of a campaign rally. This will be Trump's first comments on his new status as a criminal defendant. We will bring you some of the former president's comments once things get started. And Trump supporters lined the streets to welcome him back to South Florida. His presidential campaign is already trying to fundraise off today's court appearance by selling not guilty T-shirts, at least for now. The supporters in Florida, in that area, now standing by his side.
I just think they're trying to get him, and that's it.
They think they're going to take him out, but what it's doing is it's just making him stronger.
And President Trump and his supporters are calling the prosecution political. We spoke to one expert who says this could rally the Republican Party behind Trump as he makes another bid for the White House in 2024.
Gives Donald Trump some political running room to keep going here. This is history making. What happened today, it's stunning, but at the same time, it is also a place where Donald Trump can tie everything together as the victim. And this is the exact place he's been running for 30 years, 40 years, when you look back on both his legal career, his real estate development career, and how he's kind of upset politics as the new norm. This is grievance, and grievance, again, that is energized by Donald Trump. And I think that is going to help him, at least in the near term,
Meanwhile, the White House press secretary declined to comment about Trump's indictment, saying it's not a focus for the Biden administration.
Look, the president is going to focus on the American people like he does every day. He is not, this is not something that is a focus for him. He is going to focus on things like making sure that we continue to lower prices for the American people.
We went to the East Bay to see what voters there think of today's arraignment. Here's what people in Concord had to say about it.
I don't think it serves the people at all. It's just one gang versus another gang, and it's all about them and not about the people. Like on one side, it's grievance seekers, and on the other side, it's people who are afraid of stuff being taken away from them. And they're just playing everybody off against everybody else.
It's time that he owns up for his actions.
And the former president is also facing 3 other criminal investigations. The first is alleged efforts to overturn election results in Georgia, another for his alleged role in the January 6 attack on the Capitol, and a third for his handling of classified documents after leaving the White House. And today, a federal appeals court denied Trump's attempt to prevent his former aide from testifying in the January 6 investigation. That includes former Chief of Staff Mark Meadows. Trump had claimed he had legal protections around his presidency that would block certain testimony from former administration officials. Special counsel Jack Smith is leading that investigation.